A Friday night at the pool, a pool party as we get set for May Long weekend. But first, Night 5 finals at the Toronto Pan Am Sports Centre. It has been electric inside this venue. And buckle up for another fast night of swimming. Devin, Heroux alongside Brittany, Maclean. We're still buzzing after that world record from last night, and we're dried off.
We are dried off, although, you know, it just continues to have new weight carried every time I see Summer set a new world record. You can't take this lightly. You cannot just make this the norm.
Right.
You just can't. The fact that we're witnessing this on Canadian soil, what a privilege as a Canadian swim fan.
4 world records have been set in this venue, 3 of them by Summer McIntosh. She is only 17 years old. I love what you say about that. We take it for granted.
We shouldn't. We shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that our talent right now, to have defending Olympic champ Maggie McNeil, to have the men coming out making a statement. And speaking of men making a statement,
yes,
we have a special guest.
Well, last night we had 3 of the 4 men who made history in the pool in the men's I want to call them the 4x100.
They are
the
basically.
relay. They are going to be in the relay. Javier Acevedo, get
Come
in
on
here.
in.
All right. Listen, you were missing in action last night because the 3 other gentlemen were here. But what a night. What does it mean to you to know that you guys are making history because you've worked hard to build this program?
It means a lot, right? Like we've been setting this up for 3 years now, like the boys said yesterday, and so to be a part of that, it's really special.
And I'd love to know, I asked Yuri yesterday, but coming from your perspective now on your 3rd Olympic team, how does this one feel any more different or any more special?
It feels special because it's the 3rd one, right? You get 3 tries, right? It's this last one for me, and I'm sure it is for Yuri, unless he goes another 4. Who knows? Who knows with him? But it's going to feel special, especially competing with all the guys on the team already, and with people who are going to qualify maybe even tonight. It'll be exciting. So yeah.
That relay team was spectacular in Tokyo. 4th place. A lot of people were excited about that. What does a performance like last night mean to all of you guys 2 months out from the Olympics? Does it just fuel that fire a little more?
100%. It reinforces everything that we've talked about for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And honestly, ever since that position, we've only just tried to improve our position. And it might not have landed our results at every World Championships, but it's within sights now. Genuinely, it's within, to have 3 guys under the A cut, me being also under 49, like you guys said, right? Like, this is a team that is set up for success in 2 months from now. So.
Okay, quickly, this is the preview show. So what event, you're nice and dry, you're not racing tonight. What event are you most excited about?
I'm definitely excited for the 200 fly with Ilya, my teammate Max, and Kevin Zhang. It's going to be a special race, but also the 200 breast is going to be exciting. You're going to have 2 girls, 3 girls even under the A cut, and the 100 free, of course. I mean, all of them.
Every race, basically.
Every
you
race.
Don't want to miss a second.
So watch it all.
Yes.
Watch it all.
Basically, watch it all. Well, we appreciate your time, Javi. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Javi.
Have a good rest of the show.
Awesome. Great to see you. So wonderful to talk to him. And wonderful to see the men's program catching up because it's been the women on this Canadian team, including yourself, Britt, who have led the way for so long.
Well, and we also can see that momentum shift with it. Talking about day 5, I also like to bring the perspective to our audience at home. What a long competition this is, right? Javi Acevedo qualified on day number 1 in the 100 backstroke. He, on day number 4, had a performance that you would have thought he was able to breathe a little deeper after having that qualification already under his belt. Talk about, though, having qualifications still yet to come.
Right.
Last night is a big night of last chances.
Talk about last chances.
This night is a big night of last chances.
It sounds like we know what we're talking about here. Canada's most decorated Olympian, day 5, still hasn't qualified for the Olympics. Penny Oleksiak in the pool tonight. She showed promise this morning.
She did. She looked so strong in the water. I loved her tempo. I loved her stroke. I love how she built into the race. That 100, some people just go out like a rocket, and then there's some that close like Mary Sophie Harvey, so we have to keep an eye on her. Right. But again, the Olympic champion in this event from 2016. She was also in the Olympic final in this event in Tokyo. We have a stacked final, though, and I want to make sure we talk about some of the other names. We have Taylor Ruck in lane 2 as well. This is a big opportunity for her.
Well, I talked to her about 10 minutes ago, right where you're standing. You could see the nerves. She told me, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
That's what's at stake.
It is. This is everything you've trained for 4 years. All the highs, all the lows, all build into this one moment, and you get one shot often. Yeah. Now, luckily for Taylor, she still has a 50 freestyle in her program. Typically, though, this is one of our final shots for some of our other athletes. We have Brooklyn Douthright, who had an exceptional performance. She'll be in lane 3. We also have Mary Sophie Harvey, who's had the meet of her life over in lane 5. And last but not least, I do want to mention Rebecca Smith as well.
And we want to see a beautiful performance out of Rebecca tonight. But let's talk about the relay positioning in this, because you also have Summer McIntosh and Maggie McNeil, who scratched from this event.
Yeah.
So final, you also need swimmers to compete in the heats in the morning. You could have 4 racers there that need to be in that 53 range, right?
Yes, if we want this relay to be back competitive for the podium, it needs to be 52 splits, 53 lows. That's how fast the rest of the world is. Tonight, if we can see a couple 53s, I would be thrilled with that. That being an A cut, of course. Olympic qualifying time, 53.61. That's what we have to keep an eye on to get the individual swims. But as you mentioned, Devin, the top 2 times in Canada this year come from Summer McIntosh and Maggie McNeil. Those 2 are not swimming this race, so it opens up the field for other athletes to make the most of the opportunity.
Watch out for big race Penny tonight and a number of the other swimmers. Let's talk about what Javi set up for us, a 200-meter fly, the men's event. Elia Heroux, looking to qualify for his first Olympics.
Yeah, and I feel like we've been talking and teasing the name for a while. Elia just shot onto the the Canadian swim stage like a rocket, beating that Canadian record time just a few years ago. But he's also, he's an NCAA champion. He's now gone to the World Championships before. He's gotten more experience, but he was a little frustrated just getting off the podium last year at World Championships. He was fired up and he wants to be better.
To that point, and you've got a great memory, I'll never forget his semifinal in Fukuoka. Didn't swim it really well in the morning and then came back with that 4th place finish in the Canadian record. I asked him what changed. He said, Coach Bob Bowman, the great Bob Bowman, wasn't happy. I don't know what would have been said. Really strong performance here tonight.
And he's continued to prove he has the endurance, he has the speed naturally. It's usually the details that frustrate him, right? It was a close touch on the wall that first race. It was a long glide. And that's where you see the difference between 3rd and 4th and being on the podium. And that might be the difference between Olympic glory and just missing out on his dream. So we're talking already about the games, but he still has a job to do tonight. He's got to qualify. And that standard is well within reach. He was only 1/100th off this morning.
The breaststroke events on the women's side have been so compelling. Of course, 5 women all competing for spots in the 100 and a lot more women competing in the 200 tonight. But let's talk about Kelsey Wog.
Yeah, Kelsey Wog. I don't think I've seen a breaststroke look so smooth and composed this morning. Again, it's not a stroke I'm very good at describing to our viewers because I was awful at the breaststroke. But she was smooth, she was long, she was efficient with each stroke, and she went a world-class time.
Yeah.
She was under that Olympic qualifying standard in the prelim, and it looked like a walk in the park. So I'm excited.
To that point, you've done this better than I'll ever dream of doing this in my life. When we talk about the difference from the heats to the finals, she puts forward this qualifying time this morning. How much is she exerting? What changes, Britt, in terms of how you're approaching it mentally, physically? Is it just a given that you're so much faster in the finals?
Not necessarily, no.
Right.
And I think there's always 2 ways we can watch it. It's Sydney Pickram, who, of course, is kind of that favorite for the 2nd position in the 200 breaststroke. And Kelsey Wog took 2 totally opposite approaches to the preliminaries. Sydney got in. She wanted to confidently get in the middle lane, but she wasn't pushing the pace here this morning.
Right.
And then some athletes need a confidence boost. They need to know where they're at. They need to feel a little bit of pain to get themselves race ready for the finals. And you do have to be able to learn to race fast in the morning because when it comes to the Olympic Games, the World Championships, you have to get through in the morning. And often it requires a personal best time to even qualify through to the final.
That is such wonderful perspective. You've been great, by the way, on the calls in the morning and then back here at night. What a grind. To the Paralympic side of things, another stacked night of performances. We start with the Paralympic events tonight. Eyes on Nicholas Bennett, no doubt.
Yeah, he set the Canadian record this morning. It looked obviously it was fast, but he still looked like he had a bit more to give. He touched the wall. He had a smile on his face. We've seen him swim almost personal best times in every time he dives in the water this week. So talk about someone who's hit their stride and hit their taper. I think Nicholas Bennett is someone we got to keep an eye on.
We'll also see people like Katarina Roxon, Danielle Dorst, Tess Routliff. The point Danielle made about the Paralympic and Olympic events going all at the same time, wonderful for equity in the sport.
It is, and it's so important too to have the crowd full. It's so important for everybody to feel the same amount of energy and support from their Canadian fans, and I've definitely felt that here this week.
We will not be jumping into the pool tonight, but we are about to dive into Day 5 finals coverage. Watch it live on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. We'll be all over it. Rob Snook and Byron McDonald with the call. It starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. As always, buckle up.
Paris in the summer, where hearts turn to gold.
It's going to be a wild ride. Everyone's invited.
CBC and Gem have you covered.
Here comes DeGrasse. It is Summer. McIntosh goes for Canada.
It all begins July 26th. The world comes alive in a global act of unity. Summer's gonna be popping.